So the very first variance number one of movement is stepping. And it looks like this. You find the boxing stance variance you feel comfortable with, right? You already know which one is yours. Or please try maybe the 30 to 30 degree fit position, the one I use, or you would like perhaps to more or try at least the 90 to 30 and any other boxing variance in between and see which one you feel. Boxing stance variance, exactly, and see which one you feel comfortable with. That's more important than anything else. You have to feel comfortable with your boxing stance variance. Though tackling the fundamentals of a boxing stance and a boxing stance variance, which is first of all diagonal hip position and shoulder position with regards to the target, right? Why? Because this way we enhance protection or we enable movement, and of course we will magnify, so saying, punching. For the sake of the exercise, not to confuse you too much, I will stick to one boxing stance and one boxing stance variance, left leg forwards orthodox, and the boxing stance variance of choice for me is 30 to 30 degree, or you can look at an analog clock, 1 o'clock to 1 o'clock, approximately 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, whatever, more or less like this. Fit position, heel slightly off the floor, and this is how I feel comfortable. This is how I like it, because I feel that the three fundamental pillars of boxing are more enhanced this way. Okay, so I don't have to make as many adjustments when I punch, when I move, when I duck, when I protect. It just serves me very well. But if you choose any other boxing stance variance, is nothing wrong with that. Remember, it's nothing wrong with that. And when the time will come, I will make sure that I stress the importance of lifting, turning the heel when we will punch. I'll just remind you that what are the technical adjustments you have to make just to make sure that you enhance, you optimize striking specifically in this case. Okay, boxing fit position 30 to 30 degree. We start movement, fundamental pillar number one, and also is the first variance of movement, stepping. It looks like this. I'm comfortable and I'm stepping. I'm stepping inwards, I'm stepping outwards, I'm stepping to the left, and I'm stepping to the right. Later on we will add, of course you have to keep your hands high when your opponent is close, but for the sake of the exercise it's not relevant right now. What do we use this movement variance for? It's more for incremental distance, either increasing or decreasing, depending what you need, or moving to the side, or moving diagonal as well. So we also have diagonal movement. I will show you in a moment when you use what diagonal movement. So actually, with regards to the target, you're going diagonal inwards, diagonal outwards, okay? And then the same thing is here, diagonal inwards, diagonal outwards, diagonal inwards, and diagonal outwards. A little bit like that. So basically is the cross. It's almost like a cross movement, inwards, outwards, and sideways. And diagonal would be more like you do the multiply sign, okay, with regards to the target. So if you draw a square on the floor, you would connect both corners. That's the diagonal movement. It's not very used, but it's good to be aware that it exists. You'll very little use it here on the back. On the back, you'll more be looking for and need the cross movement, right? So the stepping cross movement. Why do I say it's cross? Because it's basically moving inwards, outwards, and sideways. And when you connect both lines, you'll form a cross. This is what I mean. So on the back, you'll mainly need this movement. So this is the movement we will mainly need on the back. Okay. So you will primarily, not only on the back, but sparring and fighting, you will primarily use incremental step cross movement, not diagonal movement. Okay, so it basically is inwards, outwards, and sideways movement. That's predominant. So that's actually the movement you have to focus on. Technical nuances of stepping is, we will keep it simple. Just remember, when you move inwards, you step with the front leg. When you move backwards, you step with the back leg. When you move to the left, you move with the left leg. When you move to the right, you move with the right leg. Always. No exception. Inwards, front leg. Backwards, back leg. To the right, right leg. To the left, left leg. Simple, right? Good. Why? The reason is very, very simple. Whatever boxing stance variance you have chosen, every movement we will be doing, we try to keep that boxing stance variance as integral as possible. Of course, you need to move, because otherwise you'll become a stationary target, so you have to do incremental movement just to adjust. Remember that striking is about distance management, so movement, especially this movement, the stepping movement, will help you to incrementally make small adjustments with regards to your target, okay? And that is the reason why you need to know how to do this movement. However, remember that we have chosen for a reason that boxing stance variance to enhance movement, to enhance protection, and enhance punching. So make sure you are loyal to your boxing stance variance, and whatever movement you do with your feet, your boxing stance variance stays as intact as possible. Of course, it's impossible to keep it 100% like this, because you'll have to do small steps, but you see that once you complete the steps, you will stay in that initial boxing stance variance. And important is why, for instance, we move inwards with the front leg and not with the back leg, because I don't want, you see that this is already, I'm already too comfortable here. Boxing is supposed to be comfortable, but not too comfortable. I'm too much of an easy target. So in terms of protection, am I optimal like this? Then why do I need to choose a boxing stance variance? I'm not really optimal in terms of movement, in terms of protection. Maybe movement, that's the only thing. But what about protection? Am I well protected like here? Even if I lift my arms, I'm very well exposed, right? Can I punch? Yes, I can, but can I punch with the same level of effectiveness? I don't think so. So if I move in with my front leg now, yes, I've gained a bit more distance, but actually this gives me a very solid balanced base, so I can strike, I can duck some punches, I can slide the punches. We will talk in a moment about protection too, but just to illustrate the importance of correct commuting of your body generated by your legs, right? That is the reason why we do not start or initiate forwards movement with the back leg, because I end up too straight. Very much the same is true about when going backwards. If I'm going backwards on my back heel like this already, I'm already an easy target. This is if I'm talking just about boxing, but if we're talking about integrating your boxing with other striking form of arts, or even better, if we integrate the boxing with wrestling and grappling, takedowns and ground, right? Of course, I promise we don't talk too much about other sports, but just to stress the importance. Maybe you are one of those students that would like to introduce or to apply its boxing in other forms, right? You want to integrate it with other martial arts and combat sports, especially from the grappling department. You're an easy target like this. It's easy for me to shoot a double leg here. One of the reasons why Muay Thai, to a certain extent, doesn't really suit the purpose of MMA is because Muay Thai fighters have a very squared and straight stance. Yes, it's very good for Muay Thai, but it's not that good for when it comes to integrating Muay Thai with other combat sports, especially wrestling and grappling. Is for that reason that boxing primarily is so appealing to wrestlers, to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fighters that want to integrate boxing with MMA, because of the movement, because of the base, because of the boxing stance variances you are required to have in boxing, because of boxing is a very dynamic sport, and that integrates very well with other grappling form of arts, but also integrates very well with other striking martial arts combat sports too. So now you understand that I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. The reason being that I'm all straight. Now it's more difficult to defend the punches, slide the punches, and punch back. So I'm all straight and my knees are straight, and I don't like it. I like to stay balanced and I like to stay ready. So when I'm initiating movement with my back leg going backwards, I'm still very balanced, I'm still very grounded, I'm ready for whatever is coming there. Even a low kick, I don't need to flatten myself up. Yes, I defended the low kick, but what if the person shoots a takedown after that? You understand? So yes, we're talking about boxing, but I want you to be aware of other possibilities there. But even for boxing, even if we don't throw in other martial arts, just for pure boxing, this is not good already. This is not good. Any boxer, any trainer will tell you that getting straight up like this is not good. You want to stay ready, and you want to, if you take it like a man. How do you take it like a man? With a good stance, with a good posture, with a balanced boxing stance variance, so you can protect. And when the time comes, fire back. This is if we have to take our boxing to the extreme. We put it into we look at it from a perspective of sparring or fighting. So then we have to practice it correctly, right? And even if you do the back workouts, you will find that it's more fun when you do it actually in a correct way. Very good. So you understand that stepping is for incremental distance, either increasing or decreasing, or actually following our target. Okay, you understand that. So this is what I mean, following the target. Imagine that this is my target. You see? Incremental movement. Okay, that is what stepping is used for. Incremental movement, small steps. Just to make sure that I keep always busy and shaky and following my target. So for back, is it useful? Yes, you will have to do it, even working on the back. You already can say that. I'm busy all the time. My legs are doing those small adjustments inwards and outwards and sideways all the time. This is what stepping is for within the movement for boxing. Pillar number one. Now, that's the first variance. What about the second variance?